Today, I'm going to be doing a review of Breaking Bad. That's right, this is probably the cornerstone show for AMC. It's an hour-long format, so without commercials, you're looking at about 42 minutes and change. Breaking Bad has, I guess technically it's in the middle of its fifth season. They kind of break the season up in a way that I do not like that. That is my number one complaint with the show. Let's just see the whole thing, not do part of it and then come back with another part of it. I don't like that at all. I don't like to wait. Breaking Bad, to give you my thoughts, it's probably, I'm gonna go out and say it's the best live action show that has ever been on basic cable. It's absolutely outstanding. The acting job from Bryan Cranston as Walt Weiss or Heisenberg is unbelievable. The character is so deep. There's so many nuances to him. This is the guy that played the dad in Malcolm in the Middle. And when I first saw the show, I said, no, I'm not watching something with a guy who was a dad in Malcolm in the Middle. That show was horrendous, unwatchable. But this, wow, I mean, there's so much in the character. I don't even know what character to put him up against to try to draw parallels. There's just no juxtaposition of characters that comes to mind. However, when you look at the arrogance, the intelligence, the pure, raw, unfiltered rage that he has in this show, the passion, he's so scorned and he has so much vengeance that he wants to inflict. There's so much fury in him. And there's times when he's right to be mad. And there's times when he isn't. He's got cancer. He's been treated very poorly by these people he put a business together with. He has been done wrong and as such has been put into a lower place in the social pecking order than with a man of his experience and intellect deserves. He's simply a high school chemistry teacher when the show starts out. And then he gets cancer. And he has a son that's special needs. And then he finds out he has a daughter on the way. So what does he do? Well, he starts cooking crystal meth. Because after all, he's this great chemistry mind. And he's so furious. He has so much hatred of the world, of himself, of everyone, and he's contemptuous. And he brings across all these negative characteristics, so many. It's so easy to hate his character, but really you're watching and you don't, because he's executed so well that you can actually begin to empathize with him. And it has everything to do with his acting ability. If there was another person playing this role, the show may have not made it through the first season. It needed an actor that was capable of exhibiting tremendous depth. And you can never really tell how well an actor could do. You go, oh, that guy's a terrible actor. But until you see him in a role that has depth, if you have a superficial role, you may not be able to bring any real depth to it. If that's what they want in terms of the director and producers, well, that's what you have to give them as an actor. That's what you're paid to do. But Bryan Cranston, just unbelievable job. If you have not watched Breaking Bad, you have to do it. It is episodic. You have to watch the first to the last. Don't come in and say, oh, well, I watched episode 3 and 4 of season 2 and I didn't like it. Well, of course you didn't like it. You don't understand what's going on. You have no idea. You have to get involved with the character. His wife is played by Ann Gunn, and I think she does a good job with the character, but she's not really that interesting. His kids, well, his older kid, not interesting at all. They did some weird thing to change his name to Flynn, and it's the kind of character you're just like, okay, just move along. I don't want to have screen time wasted with you. Just have him walking around in the background or say hi and quickly go out. There's not. There's no reason you want to dwell on that character at all. The brother-in-law, as I believe, played by Dean Norris, got a little cheat sheet here. He's a DEA agent, so you can see that immediately causes interest. And there's great scenes where Walt just completely wraps this guy around his finger and plays with him, and the guy ends up finding this notebook where he sees the initials WW on it, and he goes, oh, hey, and he goes, oh, Walt Whitman. Oh, because Walt is so quick. And he's like, oh, yeah, or Walter Weiss. And Walt just laughs like, oh, that's nothing. And Walt is so ruthless, and he has such a high appreciation of his own skill set. He does crazy things. He's kill people. He'll go right into the DA office and bug it. And these are things where you would say, come on now, I just don't even buy that from this character. If he wasn't put together in a way, the psychology behind this character you can so completely understand. He is very, very easy to understand psychologically. because it's so well exhibited through the show. It's amazingly done. So you can understand when another complex issue or another moral quandary comes out, you're like, well, I knew exactly what Walt was going to do there. And you buy it. You believe it. It's not like, come on now. It's very, very believable. He's ruthless and he's aggressive. And he's just a horrendous human being that comes across so masterfully executed that you want to root for him. You want to, and then you think, why am I rooting for this? He's just absolutely horrible. So, also Aaron Paul is on the show. He plays this former student of Walter, and he's what do they call him? Walter White. Walter White, that's his name. Walter White, and he always calls him Mr. White. Always Mr. White. It's really it's interesting the way that he relates to Walter White, because Walter White was formerly his chemistry teacher, and Aaron Paul is sort of a druggy burnout, but he's actually a smart guy who never applied himself. He's a slacker, and when you start seeing him, so that's great tension in the beginning. And Walter White always wants to make his product the best. Like, he is the best crystal meth in the world, which is kind of ridiculous. You think, well, crystal meth junkies, who cares? They're going to take anything that's going to get them high, but he wants that high purity, and he brings it a bit along, and then gets involved with Gustavo Fring and the this other problems with the Mexican cartel. Just a ton of the guy that does Gustavo Fring. He did an excellent job acting too. He is of course dead now, and on a show called Revolution that is horrendous, absolutely horrendous. But he has really brought together an interesting story. They have so much attention to detail and subtlety, where the characters, it allows the characters to really come across believably. I think, again, like I said, I guess you'd have to put it like as a 10, 9.9 in terms of show. I think it's the best show they've ever had on basic cable. It definitely has to make an all-time top 100 list. Of course, in the history of television, in my opinion, a lot of shows are just horrendous. Particularly a lot of shows you'll see really high up on the list. Of course, I guess you got to kind of put everything in its time, everything in its place. It's hard to compare things from different eras, and certain things are revolutionary, obviously deserve position. But just in terms of raw acting ability, that's something that can definitely, if you understand acting, that's something you could judge in terms of character writing, in terms of script development, and these are things from any era that you can put beside each other. This show it's just so far above so many other shows. If you haven't seen it, I've never encountered anyone that didn't like it. And again, don't say, oh, I watched 3 random episodes of the show, I had no idea what was going on. Of course you had no idea what was going on. Of course you didn't like it. You have to watch it from the first episode through. Episodic. You cannot miss episodes. You can't do that. You have to be able to watch all the episodes to really understand what's going on in the show. So if you've watched Breaking Bad, let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you like the show. Let me know if for some reason you're someone out there that doesn't like the show. And if you don't, and you actually have watched episodes in order, let me know why. I'd be interested to hear that.